Welcome to the panel.
Thank you.
Um, so let's start with, years back when you probably were younger, growing up in a family that...
I'm still young, huh? I'm just 40.
Younger, I said.
Just want to clarify
Yes.
that. Looks can be deceiving.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I was a little careful about making it relative. Growing up in a family that, built and nurtured an iconic institutions, what's the, one of the earliest moments when you realized that you're part of a legacy that you would eventually shape the future of, the company that you run, which is JK Cement?
So, I'll take a bit of the conversation that Bharatram sir and Dalmia sir both spoke about. So I'm the 5th generation. And like Dalmia ji said, the 3rd generation screws it up. And it actually happened at our family. And the 4th generation rebuilt it. And I'm sitting here as the 5th. So honestly, I'm not sure when I was a kid whether I really thought that there was a legacy to come to. My parents always taught us that, you should get educated in what you would like to work in. Because the thought process was that there may not be something to come back to. I joined the business in 2007 when I joined with my uncle, late Yadupati ji. And I think, somewhere it's destiny and somewhere it's karma, and I believe in all of that because he didn't have kids. And by about 10 odd years of him struggling to revive a part of the original legacy, which he bought out, I want to clarify that, he needed somebody to groom. And that is when I came in, and that is when my brother came in 3 years later. So I would say that, the conversations on, what people always say that, dining table conversations about business, I don't really think that I've heard much of it. My grooming into a business started the day I joined business.
And, you mentioned about your uncle, late Mr. Yadupati Singhania, and, what are the key leadership principles that, resonate and something that has been a guiding factor for you, as you take this business forward?
So, I always wondered, barring that a lot of people here probably know him, that, he didn't keep very well. And I always wondered, why didn't he grow the business? And he always ran the business with a very close-knit team of 3, 4, 5 people. But every employee that worked and everybody that was ever associated with JK Cement was very well looked after. And he always made sure that we were not over-leveraged, that something could happen like what had happened in the past. So people first, you care for them, the integrity values, quality of your product, quality of you can say the way you look after your customer. Those were the sort of values that he carried. And more so than anything else, for him, family came first. He looked after his cousin brothers. He looked after his, aunts and uncles, people who he didn't have to do anything for. But he looked after all of that. So family, even distant family, came first. So I think those are values that he started to embed the day we joined work, that, you have to take care of these people, you have to look after even the people that are working for you, their family, they're not employees. Today if there is an issue, you have to be there to make sure that you take care. And I think, I don't want to say that we have worked on those principles because there can always be a gap, but I would say that we have tried to work on those principles.
And, while you live those principles, during your tenure, you've expanded the business, entered paints business. And as you've, gone through this journey, and the major transformation under your leadership. What has been the most defining inflection point through this journey? Living those values and at the same time making sure that you build a bigger organization.
Again, I think when you're young, you can do much more. I think that's the aspect that comes in. So having worked with him for about 15, 16 years, and then having inherited a business, we knew what we wanted to do with it. To a large extent, I think we had even convinced him that this is the way we want to go. And see, you have to grow with, you have to change with the times. Being a pure cement player, we knew that where we are, we can't compete with the biggest cement player. Yet, we wanted to remain relevant. So we wanted to make sure that we continue to grow the business so that we remain relevant. At the same time, the aim is to become a one-stop shop. That today, if you're building your house, ideally you can think of JK and you can come to me, and I would be able to supply about 90% of the things to you. So that's the sort of thought process and philosophy that we're working with to be able to move ahead. It's a vision. Whether the vision gets achieved or no, that's a question mark somewhere, but you have to try to achieve it. You have to push to try to get there. And then you have to create the team that must always have people that are smarter than you, that always tell you that this is the way to do it. So you have to try to get there and try to achieve it in some way or the other.
Sure, thanks. You mentioned about you having seen in you being the fifth generation and you having seen the business go down in the third generation, and your uncle having revived it and again rebuilt quite a bit. Looking ahead, I mean, you'll probably have a sixth generation coming in. It's probably a three-year cycle. What are the things that you would proactively do with respect to whether family governance or future planning to make sure that some of the pitfalls typically which lead to destruction of businesses of value don't happen going forward?
See, there are many thoughts. I think first, let's talk about the current, then I'll talk about the future. See, we run a business which has two segments. We have a commodity business, and we have a FMCG business. The way we used to run the business was that my brother ran a part of the commodity business. I ran the FMCG business, and my uncle looked after everything. The day we took over, we got some advice. And the advice was that you can't run the way you're running today. There has to be one person who's running the business, and there has to be one person who's taking a little bit of a back step and a broader view, who's looking at the strategic view, who's looking at the board, and you have to divide yourselves. And that's how me and my younger brother divided ourselves. He runs the business on a day-to-day basis. I look at the broader view. Basically, I don't do much. But looking at that, ideally for the next generation, we've got 5 kids between the two of us. And I always wonder that, is it that the best way to do it, is it to create 5 businesses and hand over each business to each child, even though it may not be equal? The other model is to create a trust, to create a governance model. But to be very honest, I'm not very clear, because even when I speak to a lot of people, it's very hard to plan for every eventuality that could happen. Tomorrow, if XYZ dies, if XYZ gets divorced, if XYZ's child is not in the business, it's too hard to think about it. Though many people have, like we heard Bharat Ramji say. So there are many pros and cons that have to be seen. And what I always tell Madhav, my younger brother, that I think we still have some time to think about it. So that, to which way is the right way and not the wrong way, or which way is the wrong way and not the right way. So,
yeah, I think sometimes, you can be too overwhelmed by the fact that, you have to think about a lot of this future, decisions which we have made in
That's
the
right.
future. But I think it's more importantly, it's about the process of the decision making that, you would hope to pass on, and the process through which, you take, and you along with your brother take decisions today with respect to business expansion, or, how's your thinking around the next generation, which you would like to, make sure that you pass on. A final question in terms of, you're at a pivotal moment with respect to expansion and making sure that the brand grows. What's your, vision for the franchise in terms of, leaving a legacy behind for the future generations?
no, see, the ideal legacy is that, you leave something where people talk about it. Today, whatever you say, when you look at the Tatas, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say Ratan Tata didn't do anything, he did, but JRD is still JRD, So you want to be in that legacy that people think about what you've left behind. You want to do something that helps the country grow. You want to do something which you're solving a problem for the people. You want to do something where you've created something new. Those are the sort of thought processes that you carry. See, we are in a brick and mortar business. So tomorrow to say that suddenly we're going to evolve technology to a point that there'll be nobody and everything will happen through a robot, that may not be really the right way to put it. But I think there is a lot that India is changing. India is changing, that a lot of do-it-yourself is coming into play. And the do-it-yourself is something that you need to teach the consumer. And once you get there, I think you'll be able to leave a good legacy for the future.
With that, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
All the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.